Well, I was thinking that today I could read through some of the dictionary, help you relax, maybe help you get sleepy, maybe learn some new words while we're at it. So let's see what we have here. I'm just going to kind of go through randomly. Pick stuff out. We have a crossword puzzle in here. One across is glacier, came from this language. So we'd have to figure out what word or what language the word glacier came from, and that would be one across. Two down is denim, came from this city. I don't know either of those. We have accentuate, call special attention to, or emphasize. A sentence using this word reads as, her white dress accentuated her sunburn. Another definition of accentuate is to pronounce with an accent or mark with an accent. I have somebody's picture in here. How about admonition? Admonition, a reproof or a warning. How about, let's see, akimbo, with the hands on the hips and the elbows bent outward. I have a picture of a woman with her arms akimbo, her hands on her hips and elbows out. I didn't realize there was a special word for that. Interesting. Let's see. Allocate, to set or lay aside for a special purpose. Let's go to the B's. Let's go, we're in the B's now. Find a word for us to use. How about berth? A place to sleep on a ship, train, or airplane. I wonder if that would apply like at home, you know, berth. Probably not. Okay. Turn these pages. We're still in B. Hey! They have a definition for the word blockhead, although I think most of us already know what that means. But let's see what the dictionary says. It says, a stupid person or a fool. Blind date. A date between two persons of opposite sex who have not previously met or arranged by someone else. A blowpipe is a tube for blowing air or gas into a flame to increase the heat. Or a blowgun. Blunderbuss. That sounds familiar. A short gun with a wide muzzle and a large bore. Ah, okay, yes. I think I just heard that word in some pirate movie I saw the other day. Let's go over the seas. Looking at seas. Find a good word for us. I guess it could be any word. Cercinate. Rolled up into a coil. Circlet. A small circle. A round ornament worn on the head. Circuitous. Not direct or roundabout. An example in a sentence that they wrote is, we took a circuitous route home to avoid poor roads. Circuitous, not direct, roundabout way. Circuitous, I like that word. Yeah. Let's see what else we have in C. Commendable, deserving praise or approval. Commensal, living with, on, or in a member of another species, but not as a parasite. Congruity, congruity. A being congruous, point of agreement. See, okay. Constituency. The voters in a district are constituents. Craft. Special skill, trade, or work requiring a special skill. Coyote, a small wolf-like mammal of the dog family living on the prairies of western North America. Creatine, a colorless crystalline compound found chiefly in the muscle tissue of vertebrate animals, which is involved with supplying energy for voluntary muscle contraction. Crick, a muscular cramp, painful stiffness of muscles. Cricket, an outdoor game played by 2 teams of 11 players each, with a ball, a flattened bat, and a pair of wickets. Cricket is very popular in England. A wicket, I guess we should maybe look that up, but we're not in W's yet. We're still in C, which reminds me, maybe we should hop on over to D, as in decanter, a glass bottle with a stopper, used for serving wine, liquor, or other liquids. Debark, go or put ashore from a ship. Disembark, so could you say, I guess you could do both, debark, disembark. Debauchery, excessive indulgence in sensual pleasures, or a departure from duty, virtue, or morality. Corruption. Delight, great pleasure, joy. Delineate, trace the outline of, or to draw or sketch. Also to describe in words or to portray. Desertion, the act of deserting, or a condition of being deserted. So it probably helped to know what deserted mean. what that word means. So to use those definitions. Despicable, to be despised. Despite, insult or injury, malice. In spite of. Detector, detector. A person or thing that detects. Devolve. Be handed down to someone else, to be transferred. When she resigned as president, her duties devolved upon the vice president. I should maybe devolve this reading maybe to my assistant, but nobody's around, so perhaps I will do it. And let's see, didactic. Intended to instruct. Inclined to instruct others, teacher-like. I wonder if this is kind of didactic. Learning new words? Maybe. Maybe we already knew these words. Diminutive. Very small, tiny, minute. Dimmer. A person or thing that dims. A device that dims an electric light. Especially automobile headlights. A dimmer. More pictures. A lot of these pictures are old. I think this is an old dictionary. I think I'm going to look over at the E's now. Emaciate. Emaciate. To make unnaturally thin. To cause to lose flesh or waste away. Eminence. Rank or position above all or most others. High standing. Extradite. Give up or deliver, like a fugitive or a prisoner, to another state, nation, or authority for trial or punishment. If an escaped prisoner of the state of Ohio is caught in Indiana, he can be extradited from Indiana to Ohio. Extradite. Factorial. Of or having to do with a factor. The product of an integer multiplied by all the integers from 1 to that integer. Got it, yes. How about the word faun? A minor god that lived, small g, god that lived in fields and woods, represented as a man, but having the pointed ears, small horns, tail, and sometimes the legs of a goat. Faucet. Device containing a valve for controlling the flow of water or other liquid from a pipe or container holding it by opening or closing the spigot. Figurine, a small ornamental figure made of stone, pottery, metal. It's like a statuette. Figwort, any of a genus of tall, coarse herbs with small, bell-shaped flowers that are divided into 2 lips, have a disagreeable odor, and are greenish, purple, or yellow. I also have here an encyclopedia. Almost like a relic of the past, since I think not too many people use encyclopedias anymore now that we have internet. It has a lot more information and it's always current, but I think it'll serve our purpose for tonight. So I'm thumbing through here to see what we got. Let's see, this is number 18, N to P. Okay, so here. Let's see what kinds of things we have. National Radio Astronomy Observatory at Green Bank, West Virginia, has 4 major telescopes, ranging from 85 to 300 feet in diameter. Interesting. Radio telescopes can be used day or night, as long as there is no lightning nearby and no local radio or television broadcasting on the same frequency. Even the spark ignition in automobiles or sparks in electric motors can be picked up on a sensitive radio telescope. For this reason, radio telescopes are usually located far from urban areas. In order to record radio sources over the whole sky or to watch one source continuously, it is necessary to have radio observatories at both north and south latitudes and at various longitudes. Therefore, they are widely distributed, but the majority are in Europe, North America, and Australia. History of observatories. The Greeks started about 500 BC. The Greeks, starting about 500 BC, developed theories of star and planet oceans, the size and shape of the Earth, and the celestial sphere. In the United States, Alvan Clark learned to make excellent lenses using a 40-inch lens for the refracting telescope at Yerkes Observatory in 1895. Oceanic life. The ocean teems with over 200,000 species of living organisms. Oh, they have a nice cool map here. Yeah. Topography of the sea floor. 50 years ago, geologists were convinced that in general, the sea floor is monotonously flat. It is now known to contain a maze of great mountain ranges, huge canyons with precipitous walls, long ridges, and deep rift valleys. In fact, the seabed is almost as irregular as the surface of the land. Some interesting pictures here. Somebody in a really large diving suit, a dive tank, mini submarine. Picture of Daniel O'Connell. We won't be reading about him, but it looks like he was an Irish statesman, time period from 1775 to 1847. Okay. Names of more people. Looking now at the state of Ohio. Social and cultural activities. Okay. Yeah, just about the state of Ohio, different things to do. See, the state of Oklahoma. Okay. Geographic features, climate, soils. January average temperatures in the southeast are about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. In January, that's not too bad. I mean, if you live in South Florida, maybe it's kind of chilly, but if you're living way up north, it's not too bad, 45. No. Government politics, Old Castle, Oklahoma City. I think I'm going to jump way ahead. Let's see what else we have. George Orwell, English novelist, 1903 to 1950. Orthopedic surgery. See under surgery. Well, we're not there. Osmosis. Oslo University of. Osmond 1, Osmond 2. That reminds me of Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Cat and Hat. Never mind. Otter hound. Oh, an otter. What a cute little picture. There's a little otter here. Causes and types. Obesities may be classified according to their origin or etiology. Thus, one can speak of genetic obesities, where the characteristic factor is hereditary, traumatic obesities, which are due to damage of part of the brain, known as hypothalamus, endocrine disease, or psychological abnormalities, and environmental obesities, which are due to immobilization or, in certain strains of animals, to diets extremely high in fat. I thought, this isn't the book saying this, but that an environmental obesity could be, your environment, things around you. So like McDonald's, buffets, KFC, all food around you, donut places. Maybe they could work that into, environmental obesities. While obesities in human beings are just beginning to be classified, it appears likely that the same types of classification apply. It also appears that in human beings, the regulatory obesities, which include obesity due to inactivity, may be the most prevalent. So get out there and exercise. Pacific Islands, the peoples, the economies, history, maps, and then topographical features, some kind of outline. More maps of the coastline with nice sunsets with the ocean background. Yeah, very nice. Acute pain and a homely pain. There isn't homely. I was just saying that because of acute. There's nothing cute about it. But acute pain, the hurt that occurs when sudden injury takes place, involves not only the transmission of sensory signals from the peripheral or injured detected area nerves to the brain, but a host of other psychological responses as well. These pictures are in color. Interesting. Government and politics. Palm Beach, a seaside town in southeastern Florida, in Palm Beach. Cool. Summation. Absolute rulers and their ministers, such as Austrian Chancellor Clemens von Metternich, he treated with blistering contempt. Who are they talking about here? Lord Palmerston. Pan. And not something that you cook in. In Greek religion, character from there. The city of Panama. Pantheism. A point of view which considers that the world, despite its apparent diversity, is really a unity, and a unity of such a spiritual kind. Let's see. A phenomenon is said to be paranormal if, according to accepted notions of what is physically possible, it ought not to occur. The concept of the paranormal is thus both negative and shifting, inasmuch as it is necessarily relative to prevailing scientific belief. Since phenomena are dependent on the presence of a human or animal subject through whose agency they are assumed to arise, they are generally considered to be relevant to the study of the mind and ultimately of the mind-body relationship. The presumption is that the mind in some way is instrumental in bringing about what would otherwise be impossible. Let's see. Psi action covers all instances in which a subject is supposed to exert some kind of physical influence on a target object. They have something here on a paper-making machine. The plan for the first paper-making machine was conceived by a young French student who built a small working model in a wood and metal and applied for a French patent on September 9th, 1798. The payments lagged, and on June 23, 1801, he took back his patent. We have something here on a paper-making machine. The plan for the first paper-making machine was conceived by a young French student who built a small working model in wood and metal and applied for a French patent on September 9th, 1798. The first watermark in a sheet of paper dates from the latter part of the 13th century. During this period, an Italian papermaker bent a wire into a 2-inch circle, then formed 3 short wires into a cross, and placed the cross against the outside rim of the wire circle. The wire device was then sewed to the flat top surface of a laid papermaking mold. Upon dipping the mold into a vat containing macerated fiber diluted with water, the moist sheet of paper formed thereon was slightly thinner along the course of the wires, making a transparent line in the finished sheet of paper. In this way, one of the first watermarks was made. Since the origin of watermarks, about the year 1270, all line marks in handmade paper have been made in precisely the same manner. The study of watermarks received limited attention until the 19th and 20th centuries, when numerous works in many languages were compiled dealing with the historical importance of these emblems and devices. In the past 25 years, there has been an increasing interest in this lore. The symbolism shown in the old watermarks remains obscure, but it has been suggested that these devices may have been used solely as a means of identification for sizes of molds and the paper made thereon, with the exception of such marks as foolscap, hand, post, crown, pot, etc. This explanation is not very convincing. Then there's a paragraph on uses of paper, and some more photos. Parachute, a device for slowing the descent of a person or object from a great height. A parachute consists essentially of a fabric canopy shaped somewhat like an umbrella, with suspension lines extending downward from its edges to the load to be suspended. A harness is attached to the lines to support the load. The canopy is opened by a ripcord, which releases the parachute from its pack. Air blows into the mouth of the canopy, forcing it open. The large surface of the open canopy offers considerable resistance to the air, thus slowing the rate of descent. Parachutes for humans are usually less than 30 feet across when open. Those designed for carrying heavy equipment may be 100 feet across. The canopy, formerly made of silk, is now usually nylon, a stronger, more durable fabric. And we could go on and on and on.